Okay, so now what we want to do is make a cumulative frequency graph by using this information here. Okay, so we need a couple new columns. The first one is, let's call this the upper bound of the data that we have. So this goes up to 4 points. This one goes up to 9 points. And so we're just using the second number from this column. Okay, so when we reach 19 points, and then 24 to 29 to 34, and so on. Okay, so those are the upper bound. Now we need to make the cumulative frequency. Okay, so if you remember the cumulative frequency, I'll show my work over here first. So in the first one, it would be 0 because it doesn't happen. Then this would be 0 plus 0, which doesn't happen. It doesn't happen again. Okay, so you get the point. Michael Jordan is really good because he scored a lot of points when he played. Okay, and then finally this next one should be 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 2. And then I'll show one more to make it very obvious. So then so what this means is from 0 to 29 points, you add up all these categories. So he scored 0 from 0 to 4, he scored 0 from 5 to 9, and from 10 to 14, and so on. But then he scored 2 points in between 20 and 24, and 4 more points in between 25 and 29. So that's what should happen, okay? So what we can do is, well, we can just say this equals AK2. And this one equals AK2 plus AK3. So this is column AK, and there's 2 and 3, and it adds it up. Okay, now there's a much more efficient way of doing this. Instead of having to write it all the time, you can write AK2, sum it from there to AK3. Now it just sums all, so I don't have to write it every single time. So I can do that every single time, right? Over and over again. But there's another, well, I'll show you a technique. If I click the bottom right here, you may think this would work, but it unfortunately doesn't, because it doesn't understand that I want it to sum from the beginning, from AK2 all the time. So we can fix that by using a money sign. So if we put a money sign here in front of the AK, in front of the 2, it knows to always start at AK2 no matter what. And now the AK3 will move down. So we can just copy paste that down there, and there you can see it worked. Okay, actually let's see if it worked. It didn't. I made a mistake. I went 1, 2 behind. Okay, so the first one should have said, this should have included this one, so that's AK4. Drag it down, and there we go. Okay, and just double click one of these and you can see that's working now. Okay, so now we finally have our like information that we need for a cumulative frequency graph. So we can click those, highlight all that, go to insert, let's go to here, and where are we at? Let's just see how this one looks with the line. That is not what I'm looking for. Let me try again, insert. No, this one maybe. Yes, this one with the line. Okay, so this is scatter with this one, and there we go. And you can see it's like a cumulative frequency graph. Okay. Now, typically when you see this in the examples given, it's usually a smooth curve. However, hopefully this suffices to get the idea of what's happening here. So yeah, there's an attempt to make a cumulative frequency graph using Excel.